This is our story about the Nandjimadji project. This project was painted by artists from First Peoples of Australia, the Nandjimadji art group for those who are living with a disability. We are elders of the present, and we were blessed by our elders from the past. And we had assistance from artists who will be our elders of the future. My name is Robin. I am a Kalkadoon woman. What an honour to be chosen as one of the aunties to paint the Outrigger Canoe, now known as the Nandjimadji. It was wonderful to see the community spirit happen from day one. Everyone who came admired the beauty of the outrigger from the bare state to the finished work of art. They came to watch and see her transform and to put their handprint on the support float of the canoe. The handprints from the wider community truly made it the community project of the century. My section is the rear or steering end. I decided to depict the elements. The large red circle surrounded by smaller red circles are for the earth. When done on a much smaller scale, the same symbol represents the stars. My intention here was to symbolise both. The earth nurtures and nourishes us and supports the water for the canoe. The blue wavy lines are the water symbols. One side rougher for the ocean, the other side calmer for the inland waters. The white spirals are for the element of air, with their ending facing forward so that the wind is always at the back of the paddlers to push them forward. Fire is also an element and is symbolic of passion, but I did not want to include it in my section as water puts out fire. Without even talking about it, Auntie Eve put the fire with her spirit people. Coincidence of perfection. For me, painting the Outrigger Canoe was a time of many blessings. The first was actually painting alongside of my peers. The second was a text message received 3 years late from an elder who had passed on a new phone number just after I had activated it. The third was the disappearance of extreme pain as soon as I started painting. Lastly, I had the privilege of blessing the outrigger at the end of painting, then again at her first unveiling, and then blessing her once again as she finished her maiden voyage. So for me, painting the Nandjimadji has been a time of great joy, fun, love, as well as many blessings. These things I wish for all who gaze upon the Nandjimadji.
My name is Eve. I am a Rudgery woman. My story is pretty simple. I wait till I feel inspired to paint. I can't just paint anything. I have to have the story told to me first through the spirits who tell me how to do it. I can feel the spirits in the wind, the trees, everywhere. They're our ancestors. They inspire me to put the brush to the canvas to tell the story, and they play a big part in my life. For me, this boat has a lot to do with the spirit people of the land. One side of the canoe is women's business. Women gather together to yarn and talk about women's issues. I wanted to have the women separate from the men. The other side is men's business. Men are hunters and women are gatherers. Men's business is different to women's. They don't do the stuff we do. I put fire in because the men renew the land by burning. I believe everything should be renewed to balance things. If you don't, things would go bad and the land would be destroyed. And I finish off by painting an Indigenous water spirit to guide the boat through the water to ensure that everything is calm and balanced.
My name's Paul. I'm a Wiradjuri man on my father's side from central New South Wales and Irish on my mother's side. I painted the 6 symbols down the middle of the outrigger that represent the 6 individual crew members. They're the U-shaped symbols representing people. Then we put the links in between them, linking everyone together. And this shows that we all have to work together to achieve anything, to achieve success. But then the links extend beyond that and link us to all the sea life, the sea critters, and to the environment. And this talks about when we're out on the water, we're not only connected to each other, but we're connected to the environment as well. And we have to be respectful for the sea creatures because they're people's totems and they have their place in the world. And by being respectful, they'll look after us when we're out on the water as well and keep us safe. Who'd have thought when we were first asked to paint this outrigger what an impact it would have on our lives? We didn't want to just do pretty pictures. We actually wanted it to mean something and tell stories and educate people. It was an incredible experience. Often young kids would come in as well, some of the artists' children, and the elders would show them how to paint and how to conduct themselves and tell stories all about doing stuff proper way. It was an amazing experience. I was just totally blown away sitting down with the artists and having this opportunity to paint and tell these stories. It was like when we finished the stories, that the stories sort of went into the skin of the outrigger because it started to take on, I don't know, it was like a child that would be going out into the world to tell stories. And it didn't really hit us until it actually came to take it away. And we all got quite emotional. It was like someone leaving home and going out to do its job and spread words. And now it's out there doing its job and telling stories. It's used in a lot of community events now. People talk about it. It's really opened up the whole conversation about people with disabilities and Aboriginal people with disabilities and our impact on the community, that we can still do stuff and still contribute culturally. So it was just an amazing experience for me.
My name is Tracy and I'm part of a lost generation from the Maclean and Yamba region. On the canoe, I painted the sea life, and they all blessed the boat with their travels. You can see that the creatures all look like they are floating along the boat, and this 3D effect came to me like a gift while I was painting the boat. It's hard to explain, but this boat has become more than a painting for me and for us as a group. I've been really lost in my culture for some time now, and I found myself getting lost in the painting, like time was non-existent. And when it was finished, Auntie Robin did a blessing, and I felt a presence. And it was like my grandfather with his hand on my shoulder saying that you found us. And now when you see the boat in the water, the canoe, it looks like a huge crocodile with its huge mouth at the front and the tail at the back. And if you look closely, you'll see that one of Auntie Robin's elements disappears in the reflection on the water. It's amazing. It's been a privilege to work on the boat and to share my skills and learn new ones. We're hoping to get an Indigenous outrigger team together. In the days gone by, our people used to go out in their boats and outriggers to hunt. A tradition that is now lost, and we're hoping to find it again, like I found my way back to my culture.
My name is Susie and I'm a Wiradjuri woman. I painted the rainbow serpent on either side. It was a privilege to paint with the aunties and my Uncle Paul, and to have the opportunity to paint with my mum. She is the one who taught me how to paint and the cultural side of my painting. I've gotten all my painting abilities from my mum. My section is the rainbow serpents, one on either side. I guess I painted them because I'm drawn to them. Nearly every one of my artworks has a rainbow serpent. I have a strong connection to the rainbow serpent. I often have dreams of the serpent, which inspires me to do my artwork, and particularly why I paint him in all my pieces. The rainbow serpent is very sacred to our people. It fashioned and created waterways out of the land. Without it, there would be no land or no waterways. I'm also very blessed enough to be able to go to the launch and help row the boat out. It was really powerful. Hard to put into words. It gave me a sense of freedom. Like the others, I guess I had a mental shift while I was painting the outrigger. I guess for me, the week before starting the painting, I was in a really bad spot. I had a lot of stress. By the end of it, I felt really differently about things. Being involved with everyone was very good for me. I'm a lot more positive, and I'm definitely more drawn to the beach and the water now.
My name is Alice, and I don't know who my mob is. Being brought up as a white person means that I don't know much about my Indigenous culture and history at all. It's only been in the past 15 years or so that I have started getting into my painting. I painted the sea creatures along with Tracy, the dolphins, turtles, fish and crocodile. I would love to be able to explain the cultural side of this a bit more, but to me this is symbolising our food and our way of living. When we first started to paint the outrigger, I thought, what a challenge. It'll take us years to do this. What could I possibly do to contribute here? Then I got the idea of the sea. Creatures in my mind, something easy but effective. It's been wonderful painting together as a group, such a happy, friendly atmosphere. It wasn't like to go to work, here we go again. Another day at the office. It was so much fun and it was history. We had such a great time doing it and loving it and seeing it come to fruition. And when I saw it getting launched, I was so proud and so happy. It was unbelievable watching it float along. It really hit me when it floated. And I thought, oh my God, to think that we did that. How beautiful is that? It was out of this world. I became a bit overwhelmed. I'm so proud of it. It's a job beautifully done, a job well done, and I'm very proud to have been involved with this group. It was magic, really magic.
This project was painted by artists from Perth. Oh, crikeys.
One side of the canoe is women's business. Women gather together to yarn and talk about women's issues.
I thought, there's a lot of stuff in there, but I think I've got everything sort of mentioned in there. It's really hard to read off script without sort of just knowing it off by heart.
Listen to the rain now.
Yeah, it's so nice.
He was, quite hesitant, and that he goes, "No, I don't like that bit. Do it again, do it again." He's getting right into it.
Well, that was a bit better.
That's awesome.
Was it right?
Yeah.
Oh, nearly done it. That was getting mentally with me, that to be cultural.